Hello everyone, Formula Ford here and welcome back to another F1 24 gameplay video. So today what we're going to be doing is testing out the new gameplay for the F2 cars of 2024 as the season update has now come into the F1 game. So what we're going to be doing is a feature race and a sprint race all in one. Here's the F2 cars here. And we're going to be racing at the Azerbaijan street circuit for this video. So here are all the teams in the Formula 2 season. We've got ART Grand Prix and the drivers are Victor Martins, who was 2022 Drivers' Champion in Formula 3, and we've got Zach O'Sullivan alongside him, who is a part of the Williams Academy. Next up we have Prema, who has Ollie Behrman in the first seat, who replaced Carlos Sainz at Saudi Arabia and got 7th place on debut. Sainz was treated for appendicitis. Then we move on to Kimi Antonelli, who makes his debut in the sport after winning the Formula Regional last season, and from 2025 he will be a Mercedes driver with Oliver Behrman joining Haas. Next on we go to Road and Motorsport, who have Zay Maloney, who is part of the Sauber Driver Academy. Moving on to Riyama Miyata, who was the Super Formula World Champion last year and is very highly rated in Japan and is looking to add the Formula 2 title to that. Moving on we got Dams, who have Jack Crawford as their first driver, the American joining in to competing in F3 last season. Then we have Juan Manuel Correa, who's a driver that suffered life-changing injuries when he had a crash at Spa in 2019, who unfortunately had the passing of Antoine Hubert. Next we move on to Invicta Racing, who have the Indian of Kushmaini in the first seat alongside Gabriel Bortoleto, who was the Formula 3 champion last season and is a part of the McLaren Racing Academy and is currently the leader in the Formula 2 championship. MP Motorsport next with Dennis Hauger, who was Formula 3 champion in 2021. Alongside him we have Williams' newest driver on the grid in Franco Colapinto, who was recently promoted to the Williams team, who replaced Logan Sargent in the season after Logan's poor performances throughout the season, as well as racking up a lot of expenses for the Williams team. Then come to Van Amersfoort Racing, who have Enzo Fittipaldi in the first seat, who is the grandson of the great Emerson Fittipaldi, who was a two-time world champion in Formula 1, and his teammate alongside him for the season is Rafael Villagomez. Next we come to High Tech, who have Amaury Cordial in the first seat alongside the former championship leader of the season in Paul Aaron, who have fallen down the order into P4 in the current standings as we speak. Then we move on to Campos Racing, who has two Red Bull young drivers in Isaac Hadjar, who was leading the Formula 2 standings at a point as well, and is joined by former Formula 3 driver last Giuseppe Maria Marti. Next up we have Trident Motorsport, who have Richard Verschoor as their first driver, returning to the team he raced for in 2022 after spending his last season at Van Amersfoort, and he is joined by Roman Stanek in the second seat. And last but not least, we are joined by AIX Racing, who is joined by Joshua Dirksen, Paraguay's first Formula 2 driver, but also their first race winner, and he is joined by the Brit of Taylor Barnard, who is as of now McLaren's Formula E driver for the 2024-2025 Formula E season. For this race, I feel like I'm going to go and pick either Isaac Hadjar, or I'm thinking about either driving as Victor Martins, and I believe I am going to go with Victor Martins for this Grand Prix, as I do. And just checking the difficulty rating and just making sure that's all okay. Just trying to pick over between 101 and 102. I'd probably pick 101 just because I've never raced this Formula 2 AI before. They might be a bit quick for me as I've never raced in this Formula 2 car as well. Going to select a feature and a sprint for this, and also do one-shot qualifying, although I will be starting at the back for the race. I just got to set it to at least one qualifying session so that I can start at the back of the grid. Just making sure the rules and flags are all alright and all the other settings, and we're going to go and start the event. Right then, so here we go. So we are in the garage now, just having a quick look at the setup. We're probably going to keep it at the default because I'm not exactly sure if yet those settings work on this car. So the AI will be running it as well, so I just think that it'll just be kind of equal, just keep it like that. I'll probably change the brake bias here now and there just because I like it a little bit more rearward. But just going to go into this lap now, so it'll give us the 5 red lights as we count down into this. And we have got control now, so we go down, braking into the first corner. We brake a little bit early and say completely missed the apex there, and we're already down to 20 seconds. You can see Antonelli's ghost just in front of us there. Clip the apex and that, get a pretty good exit out of there, but we're just coming down the straight now as we enter the technical section. A lot of 90-degree corners in this first sector here as we brake just before the 100-metre board. Probably could have braked a little bit later than that. Then we are just going to brake just on the 50-metre board, get a nice clean apex in there, just missing the wall there as we come into here now. And I love this little bit of section here, just a quick chicane there, and that was nice. As we are still 20 seconds down in here, and just after the 50-metre board, probably could brake a little bit as we get a snap of oversteer on the exit there as we enter the I am stupid corner, as I have done that many times before in the races that I have done, so don't feel bad Charlotte for that one, just taking a mick there. And then we're going down to just getting to the end of the second sector now, absolutely miles away from Antonelli as we get on the brakes here, clear that curb and just miss the wall on exit there. You want to get right close up to that wall but not touch it, as we brake just before the 50-metre board again, clipping the apex, and we are a whole second down, so it is not very good this lap at all, but it doesn't matter as we're starting at the back of the grid anyway. Clip the wall on the exit there, and we've got wind damage, but yeah, we're starting at the back anyway, so yeah, and that front wing will be replaced before we get into the Grand Prix anyway. It looks like Antonelli is going to get pole position as we complete qualifying, and not a surprise there, it will be 22nd on the grid, and we'll have plenty of work to do in the sprint and in the feature race.
Grid is set then, that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action. Until then, goodbye.
So there you have it, Antonelli is on pole position and gains 2 points from this weekend so far, as Ollie Behrman gets second place in the Prema as well, so it is a Prema 1-2, but the grid will be reversed, so Joshua Dirksen is going to be on pole position for the sprint, as Gabriel Bortoletto is third, Pepe Marti is fourth, then we've got Aaron, Hajar, Correa, Miata, my teammate Zach O'Sullivan ninth, and of course Joshua Dirksen rounds out the top 10. Then we got Hauger, Barnard, Colapinto, Maloney, Maney, Verschoor, Crawford, Fittipaldi, Cordial, Stanek, Villa Gomez, and last but not least, Victor Martins, which is me, 1.5 seconds off the pace.
So today, the sprint race, no pit stops, just full on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today? This is not your usual racing circuit. It provides one of the most complete tests for the field. Sector 1 sports a set of 90-degree corners around the block, if you like. Sector 2 gets even tighter with the old city walls. Sector 3 just turns 16 to negotiate, and then 2.2 kilometers flat to the floor, full throttle in 6th gear all the way to the end. And we welcome you to the Formula 2 commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this one is Mr. Alex Brundle. And we've got this format in Formula 2, Alex, where the top 10, they get reversed from qualifying to form our grid. So the mid-order in qualifying now become contenders for the win.
Well, you've got the grid reversed, giving some drivers who wouldn't normally get it the opportunity to take a win or a podium home. They're going to be looking to snatch that opportunity, if at all possible.
Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order.
There we go, just getting some advice from Mark on the race engineer there, as we are just getting ready for the sprint now, as we are ready for 5 red lights in this Formula 2 season. Lights out and away we go. We get a half decent start as we draw alongside Villeneuve Gomez, and then we're going to look to the left or go to the right. It looks like we're going to go to the right and try and get around the outside of some of these cars into turn 1. As it's going 3 wide with Vachon, Crawford and Cordial. We're just going to settle in behind into these drivers here, as we're going to try and get a good exit, as Crawford is going to be a bit pinned to the wall as it goes from 3 wide into 2 wide, as it looks like Cordial is going to have the better of them. We're going to be smart, just get early on the brakes and look for an opportunity as we look to go around the outside of Richard Vachon into here, as we are side by side going into the next corner. Slight contact as we get into this, but we are just about enough to squeeze him out on that corner as we look to the inside of Jack Crawford into here. Are we possibly going to get this all done into here? Oh, we taps over the curb, but we just about given him enough space, and we're into 17th place as we come into that castle section. Still in 17th place as we come into the castle section now, as we enter I Am Stupid corner, and we're still tucked right up behind Amory Cordial as we go into out of this castle section now, and we're onto this little back straight here that isn't also kind of straight. As are we going to get anything on the anchors into here? We're definitely going to close Cordial up, try and get a good exit out of here so we can get another good exit onto a very long straight that is going to go to the start finish line. We are now just trying to tuck in behind Amory Cordial. We're still slightly behind him here, try and get a good exit out of this chicane, very far chicane, as we are gaining all the time on Amory Cordial very slowly, as Joshua Dirksen is still leading the race from here. Are we going to go to the inside, or are we going to go for the outside move? We look to the outside, send him a dummy, and we go up to the inside, and we get it done into turn 1. We're up to 16th place. We've now made 6 positions from our starting grid position. Even Mark comes on the radio and says, "Great pass from you," as we look now to 15th place, who is occupied by Franco Colapinto. And as I can say at the moment, so from a little review of these F2 cars at the moment, it's not that too much different from the F2 cars of 2023, although there is a slight difference in the speeds. It is just slightly different speed-wise and all that, but the handling is near enough the same sort of spec as the 2023 cars, as Colapinto is now defending into this corner here. Are we going to have a look around the outside here? Try and give him the room. It is very oversteery in second gear as well, as we enter through the castle section again, and we get the move done on Colapinto for 15th place. Next up we have Schmeini in the Invicta Racing team for 14th place, as we are coming to the end of the second sector again. It's the same kind of gap that we had at the beginning of the race, as we come into this very tricky braking zone near towards the end of the second sector, as we're still nicely tucked up behind Maney for 14th place. We clout the curb on the exit there, but I think we have got quite a good exit out of there, as we are slightly gaining on Maney. Try and get a good exit out of this chicane again, as it looks like we've got a better exit than Maney here. Try and get in the slipstream, just try and have any sort of way that we can get past Maney here. The fastest laps is going everywhere, and it's gone to Miata at the moment. Well, we're going to try and have a go. We get the fastest lap as we're going to look around the outside of Maney. Are we going to get the move done? He's still there on the inside, as we get unbelievable stuff, as DRS is now activated after the 3rd lap of this race. We are going to get DRS as we were in the detection point for Zane Maloney, who is in front of us, for unlucky P13. The other thing that I can say about the F2 cars that is much better than the Formula 1 cars is that they have recorded the F2 cars pretty well, and they have got some great sounds to them, as I'll let you listen in now as we are just entering the second sector. circling back now. We just made the move on Zane Maloney into the castle section just before that, as we're now tucked up behind Dennis Hauger for P12. There's nothing that we can do there, as we are not going to go too wide into there. He's defending though, so I'm wondering why is he defending. So I'm trying to get a good exit out of here so that we can have an opportunity onto the back straight as the DRS gets activated on one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar. Getting right up, tucked up behind Dennis Hauger here. For whatever reason, they don't get a good exit out of here, as he's almost squeezing us into the wall there. Unbelievable. As we get on the outside now, we're going to get DRS activated, but he's going to have DRS from the car in front, who is Taylor Barnard. So it is a drag strip down to here. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? It is us. But oh, he's going to go in too hot. Oh, just clip the exit there. It's unbelievable. We haven't got any damage on that car. But we have now made it into 12th place as we look to hunt down the top 10, starting off with Taylor Barnard for 11th place. Antonelli has not made up any positions either. He is still in P10 at 1.4 seconds ahead of us. As we get really close to the wall there and on the exit, as we enter this little Mickey Mouse section here, right up onto the curb there, so not a very good exit from us there. As we do get on the brakes, we have the fastest sector of all the cars at the moment. We get a bit of oversteer on the exit, but Bernard is defending into this turn. Are we going to be able to do something round the outside, trying to give him the space? A little bit of wheel banging on the exit, but we do get it done and we're into P11 as we enter the I'm Stupid again, tucked behind Antonelli for 10th place. As we know, it is points only from 8th upwards. So we're going to have to make some real progress here on the last lap if we're looking to score points in this race. As we get some deep braking into here again, really close up on Antonelli here, and they don't get a very good exit out of this corner here. As we look for a fake move, just trying to put Antonelli off of his racing line, just see if we can get him to do a lock-up anywhere. As we still get a good exit out of here. Into this fast chicane again where they don't get a very good exit, so we're going to try and get right tucked up on Antonelli here as we're looking to get the DRS activated as soon as we can in a few meters now, as Antonelli has it wide open as well. It looks like he's trying to defend from us. We're going to go to the inside, no, we're going to make it look like we're going to the inside, and we're going to go around the outside. We break a bit deep into that corner as well. Antonelli is still there on the inside of the corner. Is he going to try and outbrake us? Yes, he is. Little bit of wheel banging again. We get a bit of oversteer on exit, but we are into the top 10 now. It is 1.5 seconds to Ollie Behrman in front for 8th place. Are we going to be able to get any points in this race at all? Looks like it could be very close indeed, as we are closing on those sections, as it is bunching up at the front there a little bit, as we are now within 6/10 of Bortolo in front. Going into the chicane here, we always gain on the AI a little bit. He doesn't get the greatest exit out of there, Bortolo, and he looks like he is defending. Are we going to be able to do anything? No, we're going to have to tuck in through our castle section, and there's definitely not going to get two cars into here. As we enter I Am Stupid for the last time, a little bit deep, as we almost did go I Am Stupid there, really. Good exit out of there, and we are now tucked up behind Bortolo. Are we going to be able to do anything in this race before the end of the Grand Prix? As we are now just clip that apex there, and we're going to try and do something into this corner here as we dive up the inside of Bortolesso. Wow, we have got that move done as we try and have a look to see if we can get Ollie Behrman for 8th, but I think at the moment it's a little bit optimistic and it looks like we're going to get 9th place, but we might have the fastest lap, so we might be able to get a point at the end of this race. Who is going to be the winner as we get across the line? It's going to be Zach O'Sullivan, our teammate, wins the Grand Prix. So the Brit wins the sprint for ART Grand Prix as we come along home in 9th place after a good recovery drive from 22nd.
The British driver looks up and sees the checkered flag first. Zach O'Sullivan takes the win.
Well, sprint races are basic, aren't they? And that's why we like them. Set them all going and let them have at it. And they really showed the racecraft and pace that you need to win.
ART, the French team who have been racing since the 90s in various forms of motorsport, are once again back on the winner's podium today after a brilliant display of driving skill.
So here are the final standings at the end of the sprint race here in the Baku Street Circuit. Zach O'Sullivan wins the sprint race for ART. Then we have Joshua Dirksen, who started on pole position in second place. Riano Miata finishes out the podium. Then we have Isaac Hajar, who finishes fourth for the Campos Racing team. Then we have Juan Manuel Correa coming home in fifth place at Downs. Then we have Joseph Maria Marti, followed by Paul Aron. Then we have Oliver Behrman in eighth. We finish ninth place with a point to our name for the fastest lap of the race, followed by Gabriel Bortoletto, who rounds off the top 10 of this race, and just closely behind Firo's Kimi Antonelli in 11th, who just misses out on points.
Baku never fails to disappoint fans of Formula 2, so hold on tight. The cars are set on the grid and any moment will be starting today's race. Welcome to Azerbaijan. This is not your usual racing circuit. It provides one of the most complete tests for the field. Sector 1 sports a set of 90-degree corners around the block, if you like. Sector 2 gets even tighter with the old city walls. Sector 3 just turns 16 to negotiate, and then 2.2 kilometers flat to the floor, full throttle in 6th gear all the way to the end. Here are the starting positions for today's race. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, with Ollie Behrman alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bortoletto, Pepe Marti, Paul Aron, Hajar, Correa, Miata, O'Sullivan, Hauger, Barnard, Franco Colapinto, Zane Maloney, Miney, Verschoor, Crawford, Enzo Fittipaldi, Cordial, Stanek, Villa Gomez, and Victor Martins completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. I'm Alex Shakes, he's Alex Brundle, and this is FIA Formula 2, where the team have spoken so well about the driver you're looking at in screen at the moment. Alex, it's great to see young talent developing like this.
It's always great to have good references from across the combox, AJ. They really are getting on well, and they're growing in experience, much like the experience that you have behind the microphone.
Try to put the starting position out of your mind and just focus on the race ahead. We can still do a good job here today.
Alright then, so here we go. We are set up now for the feature race and just getting ready for lights out. So here we go, building up the revs. Here we go for 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. We don't get a great start in all honesty, but even Stanek gets even worse one. Where are we going to go as we go into turn 1? Are we going to go around the outside? Yes we do. We'll find a really big gap around there. And then we're going to go free wide into here. But the traction sets us apart as we're going to have a go at Richard Verschoor into the second turn. There's free wide again. This feature race between Maloney, Maney and I can't quite see who that is in front. I think it's Barnard. Barnard is in front as they're going free wide again. We're going to have a look at Maney as we get into the third turn around here. Barnard and Maloney scrapping it out on exit as we come into here, and it looks like Barnard might get the run in from over here. She does, by the way, so that means that he's got a better exit. It looks like we might have a go at Maloney, but he's coming back at Barnard, so we might not be able to get anything over there. As Maloney jumps over the curves, we try to look for a switchback, but nothing is on at the minute, and we don't want to go across the track too aggressively. As Maloney is defending, we can try and go around the outside as Are we going to get ahead on exit here? Yes, because we can never get too into this corner here, right through the castle section as we go into 14th place, right up against Taylor Barnard now. Already making up 8 positions on this first lap already as we're coming through this section now, just trying to get on the brakes really good, and we're closing in on Taylor Barnard, try and get a good exit out of here, which we get a fairly good exit really. Barnard gets a good exit as well. We fake to the inside a little bit, try and put him off of his racing line, doesn't work though, as we get an exit along here. Are we going to be able to get him through our favourite section here, as we are tucking him behind him, very close to the wall on exit there, but it looks like we might get a run at Barnard. The slipstream effect isn't really that great in these Formula 2 cars. We're going to go right to the outside and try and get a move down there into turn 1, get on the brakes, but he brakes at exactly the same time as us, so we kind of have to let off the brakes a little bit as we try and go around the outside, in which we do, and we're now into 13th place as we cross the line for lap 2 now of this 7th lap race. Next up we got Franco Colapinto in the MP Motorsport car, just trying to close him in on the straight here, but we haven't got DRS activated at the minute, so we're going to have to wait a little bit to get some good opportunities for overtaking as we get on the brakes really good into here. And are we going to have a look at the inside of Colapinto? It looks like we are, and is he going to give us room on the outside? He just about gives us enough room. He's still there alongside, so we're going to have to give him the room on the inside of the corner there. He has the inside, but we have the racing line, and we do get the move done. A little bit of a twitch on exit there, and it looks like we're into 12th place, just behind Dennis Hauger now for 11th place. They're very slow as they come into the castle section here, as the traffic is piling up a little bit. Looks like from P5 upwards that is, and we bang the wall there just on the entry of that corner. We're just going to ask Mark on the radio there just to make sure that the front wing is still alright, because sometimes you do get onto the game, and if you do hit the wall on the exit, then sometimes it doesn't come up that we have wing damage, so the best thing is to ask Mark, and he says we have no damage, so we've got away with one there, just skimming the wall. As we missed the apex there completely there, so we might not have a great exit onto this straight now as we look to set up and move on to Dennis Hauger, as it looks like the Primers are still 1-2 at the moment in this race as we come across the line. Antonelli is the fastest man on this track at the moment, and he is of course still in P1 at the moment. And we cross the line. DRS is now enabled from the start of this lap. The DRS detection point is up here, so everyone that is close enough will be getting DRS through this long section here as we go through the 90-degree left, and we activate DRS now, but because everyone's in a bit of a train, we're going to have a bit of trouble just gaining in on Hauger here, so we're going to have to do something on the brakes here as we dive bomb right up the inside. Hauger there, a little bit of contact with Dirksen as Correa locks up in front, and Hauger now re-overtakes us into here. Are we going to be able to have something around the outside or possibly inside into here? We're going to look at the outside move. He gives us the space on the inside. We have to clout over the curb. There's a little bit of contact on the exit there, and we are going to let Hauger back through because we kind of did squeeze him into the wall there. Hopefully he hasn't got wing damage at the end of this, but it does look like he does. Unfortunately, it looks like he's got wing damage because he is very slow now through these technical corners. So yeah, I'm really sorry for Dennis Hauger there, as I didn't want any contact in this race, but that's sometimes just how racing goes. Sometimes there is contact, sometimes there is damage, as he is really slow now, so it looks like we might be able to have a look at the inside into here. We get on the brakes a little bit late, just about missing the wall there, because we didn't want to go side by side and then give him even more damage, but it looks like now, because of that, we got a little bit of ground to make up on Joshua Dirksen for 10th place as we settle into 11th place now at the hands of Dennis Hauger. Coming into the end of lap 4 now, it's only just taken us now to really catch up Joshua Dirksen in front. We have set the fastest second sector of this lap, so we could be looking at a fastest lap here in this race as well, as we're closing in on Joshua Dirksen now. It looks like we're going to get the DRS just onto the end of this straight, and Are we going to be able to get the fastest lap of the race as we cross the line? Yes, we do. It's a 1:57.734 as we missed the apex wildly there into turn 1, but it is closing up again after it looks like 6th and 7th are going side by side into turn 2 there, as everyone's in a bit of a PRS train coming into here. Are we sizing up and move on to Joshua Dirksen here? We're going to go up the inside here as there's another lock up into this turn here, and we nearly took out our front wing again. This time the victim would have been Zach O'Sullivan, as we now settle into the points, and we are now scoring 2 points in this race as we go up the inside of Zach O'Sullivan, try and catch him sleeping into here. He's going to have to clout over the curb, but we just about give him enough on the exit there, and we now are into 9th place, making real good progress in this race with 2 laps to go, as we are now onto the back of Isaac Hajar in the Campos racing car, as we are now going through the technical castle section. Right, had a look into there as we now try and get a switch back on Isaac Hajar. We got a really good exit into there, as now we're going side by side. Is he going to give us the room? He's given us plenty of room, and he's kind of backed out of the move. I did not really expect that at all, but we are going to take it, and we're now scoring 5 points in this race after getting 8th, as we looked now to his teammate of Jose Pepe Marte. Oh, we got a really good overtaking out of that corner there as we look to now set a move on Pepe Marti. He's going really slow through here, so we can see he got wing damage as well. Yes, he has. He's got a front end plate missing on the front right of his car, and we're now looking to try and settle into the slipstream, and we're going to get the DRS, so this should be a quite easy move now here on Pepe Marti. Go into the inside, and yeah, we're even clear just before even entering turn 1. So now we look at Juan Manuel Correa. Are we going to be within the DRS here when we come up to here? I don't think we are, because the detection point was just there, and we'll find out now. No, we've not got the DRS, so we're going to have to settle in, try and get a good lap together to try and catch Correa for 6th place. Into the end of lap 6 now, we've caught up Correa just about 4 tenths behind him, as we're going to come to the DRS detection point now, and we'll get the DRS on Correa at any point, as we have the DRS on him now. As we close in, are we going to go inside outside on him here? We're going to go to the outside, and we're going to get the fastest lap as we cross the line here, deep into turn 1 here. We're going to make the apex, yes we do, and we are now into 6th place, and it looks like we are now battling Correa for 6th place in this race, as Miata is now 3.3 seconds up the road. Are we going to have to defend from Correa into this next turn here? He is closing in because he's got the DRS. Are we going to have to defend? No, he's just going to have to tuck in behind us, and then that should settle us for the rest of this race now. At the end of lap 7 and the last lap, it looks like we're going to have to settle for 6th place. Ollie Behrman wins this Grand Prix, so it is a double for the Brits here, as our teammate Zach Sullivan won the sprint race. Looks like we're going to cross the line in 6th place from last on the grid.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
He's made it all the way to the top step of the podium. Ollie Behrman takes the checkered flag.
Well, the sun was beating down on the tarmac, and they've done a great job to keep those tyre surfaces under control. That's what it was all about today, and they've really performed.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema.
So there you have it. Oliver Bearman leads home a Prema 1-2 in the feature race here at Baku, as it is Gabriel Bortoletto that comes home in third place, then from Paul Aaron and then Termo Miata, as we come along with the fastest lap in 6th place to pick up 9 points and 10 overall points throughout this weekend, as Zach O'Sullivan won the sprint race and then Oliver Bearman won the feature race. Rounding out the top 10 was Juan Manuel Correa in 7th place, then we had Zach O'Sullivan getting 8th place, then it was Jose Maria Marti and Joshua Dirksen picking up the last point in 10th place. Just missing out was Isaac Hajar from Taylor Barnard, then it was Franco Colapinto, Kush Maney in 14th place. As we go down a little bit further, we see Jack Crawford was 15th, then it's Zane Maloney, Emerald Cordial, Richard Verschaw, Dennis Hauger, unfortunately picking up that damage from us, which was our fault by the way. Rafael Villagomez gets 20th place from Enzo Fittipaldi, and Roman Stanek finishes in 22nd. And that is the end of the video, everyone. Thank you for watching today. If you have liked this video, then be sure to give it a like. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for more motorsport content like this. I have been Formula Ford, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you?